It's what you've been waiting for. B versus Beasty in a best of 5.
Here we go, indeed. Achery against Malians here on Rocky Canyon. Now you look at the map, you see those little ponds in the middle. Don't be fooled. This is not dry river. There is no fish to be gathered here. So going for a dock here probably is not going to net you anything positive in this game.
Maybe that's the real reason they won't add this to the normal map pool. Like, people, you can already see it, right? The Reddit thread's going up. I was absolutely in dismay when I discovered that there is no fish in Rocky Canyon. I built a dock in every single pond, and every time there were no fish. Relic, please fix fish spawns.
That's how I felt when I first played Ruse on, what was it, Waterholes?
Oh, no.
And I was like, I was promised bounty. Where's my bounty?
Not bounty. It's like people going on to
here.
It's like people going to mountain clearing and expecting to get a lot of bounty. When you realize there's actually not that many deer, let alone ones you can usually get. But for once, we don't have to worry about opening Ruse. Now, we did talk about the possibilities of a second TC type play. I'm not expecting it this game. Check out that spawn for Beasty rather. Not many great arcing options here.
Yeah, I guess your best option would probably even be forward or to the side-ish. Just the wood, the food, and the gold. It's probably not the worst. You're definitely not going to get your stone in there. But I think it's still going to be quite good if you go for it next to the gold and next to the wood. Yeah, I think that's still good.
You know, some players...
It's no S tier, but it's a solid B+.
So some players in this situation, Crackedy, might be tempted to go for a mine work. But
no,
I can already hear Beasty screaming in the distance. I don't think we'll ever see him build that landmark.
Yeah, he is quite firm when it comes to his stance on the Minework Palace compared to the Archon. Indeed, we do see the Archon here, and Beasty is going to rally a bunch of villagers over to stone. Get that stone for a second TC. And yeah, I think he sent so many villagers over to stone that I think his strategy is going to be like, look, he only has 2 villagers left on food here. Yeah, he's just going to mine all the stone. He's going to mine all the stone that he needs for a second TC, rally all those villagers, probably do a TC jump over to the other side, and be in time to gather enough stone and get a really, really good second TC timing.
And check out this time that will happen here, right? Because the buff lingers, he'll be able to shift away, move past the TC, and garrison probably immediately as the Archon completes. But we can check elsewhere and come back to this, because in fairness, we are... No, he's going early. Okay, just to the food, but like we can check on the other side, because we have that man.
I don't think you can TC hop with a Prelude, right? Only villagers.
Does it not default to the base? I need to test that, actually, because I can't remember if it got changed again. You might be right. It might be always the same side.
Yeah, with like non-economy units, it's always the same side.
Okay, yeah, that's in fairness, yeah.
He has so many... B went for the double scout, and he got a lot of the sheep. When we look at BC's base, there aren't any sheep left at this point, or at least no sheep that are left alive. Actually, 1 sheep. Okay, I'm lying.
Right.
But there's... Are they alive? Or there's a carcass? They're alive. Okay, never mind. There are some sheep. I'm a turkey liar.
2 or 3 carcasses, and then there's like 3 or 4 more sheep. It's not good, though. Like, you're HRE. You burn that fast. Yes.
Yeah. And stage up completes now.
And look at the stone. By the time the buff runs out on that stone line, he's going to have what he needs. But now he needs to shift quickly to the wood.
Yeah. But he, at the same time, has reached the next age. BC went for a little bit of bonus stone there. Maybe for an emplacement. You never know.
Exactly 400.
And yeah, pretty good stuff there. I mean, the deer are really far away for him, so it depends on the timing. But if B gets like a really, really nice timing with his forward, or maybe even with a professional scout kind of play here, because the deer are so exposed here, this could put Beasty in a position where he really needs to go for a fast farm transition. Now, in theory, this doesn't really hurt HRE as much, because with the Archon, those farms are pretty much as good as, if not better than deer. Well, not pretty. Are they better? They're close.
They're better. They're better. So farms are 0.75, and then deer is 0.84. But of course, you have to increase it by 40%. So you're adding on an extra 0.3, which brings you above 1.
Yeah, that's pretty
1.05 farm.
Superior.
It's insane.
Yeah, the inspiration buff, it's one of those buffs in Age of Empires 4 that exists in the game. But yeah, we do see professional scouts coming out here. Beasty is going for his spearman. I feel like B right now, what he should do with his warrior scouts is probably either push those deers away while the TC isn't built yet, or posture around enough in order to like be able to pick off these spearmen early enough.
Get him, boys. These are warrior scouts, though. I just want you to be aware of what you're doing to yourself here. Spears are at least arriving. B, getting out microed a bit here. Does at least get away. Heavily injured and half-cocked. But we're going for the finish. He loses 2? Okay, he got out microed there.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit awkward there, and the professional scouts is still not nearly completed. And now Beasty has the amounts of spears, where the warrior scouts are unlikely to really get a lot of value. Gets another villager kill though. That's pretty nice. Any villager kill here is worth a lot.
Eventually you get it. Almost there's another scout for it. He needs to push those deer away, if anything, but instead he's just hard focused on the villies. So
this is another scout.
He can't. I don't think he can get any more. That's too many spears. If you try to dive, you instantly lose the scouts now.
Yeah, no sofas here. But...
Okay, go for it. What do I know? He'll get one, but surely.
One more?
What was that aggro? Oh, all right, B. Yeah, no, I'll bow down to that. That was some weird aggro. Like, 2 of the spearmen peeled for a different target, right?
Yeah, that was nicely played by B there, getting that. So now he's gonna have to focus he needs to get that other deer spot that BC has, right? And BC behind this, I don't like that palisade wall. That's gonna block a lot of farms here for him because he is gonna need to go to farms.
You can delete it. It's fine, Crackedy.
It's fine.
But the efficiency.
Sure. Oh, B is going for a lot of warrior scouts here. He's not gonna stop at 7 for the deer push. We might be seeing a heist here. And indeed, the highest we get.
Yes, that's right. And when the next scout comes, ignore the dead body next to the deer. Yeah, don't look at your brother. Just pick it up and go. We might have to get his cousin in as well. I don't think he's going to live.
This hurts a lot because that is pretty much the equivalent of 1,000 food just gone there for Beasty.
And it's not, like, let's be real. You're HRE. When are you building a mill and when do we expect wheelbarrow?
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit later into the game here. It's not going to be anytime soon. Behind this, B already has his wheelbarrow. He has his double broadaxe, so has a good amount of economy upgrades. And we do see Beasty has to invest into those farms if he wants to have a good food economy now.
Of course, one nice thing for the HRE, we mentioned the 40% gathering rate on the food. We have to remember it's a 40% gathering rate on the wood as well. So farm transitions are actually a lot easier than first apparent for the HRE. And see ya! I might die eventually. Wait, but here we go. It's a stealth forest. We know how this story goes. The story is old as time
An
itself.
illusion. What are you hiding? Yeah, that scout is gonna get out scot-free.
I just love the lack of realism here. I'm gonna ruin the immersion, people. Oh no! I ran into long weeds and 3 trees. Where did they go? I'm looking for a horse with a giant carcass on the back. I can't see it anymore. Should have went to Specsavers, mate. That's a British
now we have
reference.
archers as well. That's...
Okay, what are the chances he forgets about that deer?
First?
Let's be real. Like, what are the chances B forgets about that deer he just dropped at the berries?
He's never going to think about it again.
Eventually he'll go for berries and it'll work out.
Yeah.
Just hidden under there. Dude, it's like, you know when cats, like animals kill something and then hide their food for later? Like wolves, they'll like kill deer and cover them in snow. It's like that. It's like, yep, just hide it under the bush. No one else will find it.
I'm gonna save that one for later. I don't need it now. I want it later, yeah.
It's nice actually, because you got venison with like a cranberry sauce on it in that way.
Yeah, now Beasty is gonna just wall himself up. I think he's still in a good position here. Looking at his income right now, the farms are really paying off. He's over 1,000 food per minute right now, and looking good with the gold income as well. B is looking like he wants to invest a little bit more into feudal age here, but he might get caught off guard by a really fast age up here now from BC. Considering he went for 2 TC, he's still gonna get a really, really fast age up. Sure, now he has a little bit of idle time there with the villagers walking back from that sad little hunt that they actually had access to. But overall, if you're HRE, you're really fine here.
I'm always surprised by how many HRE players don't add in additional prelates with the second 2C build, right? Because like, it is actually
worth it.
Yeah, right. It's like 2.4 villagers extra for each prelate because they can buff 8, right, for 40%. It's 100%.
This is also why the Archon is just so good, because you don't have to think about it. The players argue that it's just something that you have to think about. That's why, and because of that, it's bad. And now we see Arachnids getting rushed up with 16 villagers.
Did you just... I'm sorry, we got to just circle around to that again. I'm going to read the subtext, but I'm pretty sure you just said HRE players are brain dead.
Yes, yeah, why exactly? That's what I was getting
They're drones. They don't think for themselves. They just open the build order and go.
Me HRE, me good eco, me win games.
Hey man, that's how I dominated the alpha. That's I can't disagree. Dude, this is so annoying what BC's doing, but it's finally going to come to an end. B does have enough archers to push him away.
Yeah, and behind this we also have the Farimba Garrison H-up, so B not far behind in the H-up. Thing is, though, that behind all of this, Beasty, second TC, and there's not a whole lot that B has done to contest that yet, if anything at all.
He needs to block the relics. Now, because he's got archers, it does make it problematic for Beasty to just use spears to pick up the initials. But he has got knights on the way. At slow pace. Relics?
Ooh, he's gonna get that one for sure. It's so close to
archers are
space. That's the
nowhere.
nearest relic that... Yeah, that's the closest one. He's gonna get it, and he's also producing knights right now. Granted, we're getting these sofa upgrades, so sofas can probably take some fights here against the knights. If you get like 4 sofas compared to 1 or 2 knights, the sofas should probably still come out on top there. I want to see at least like 5 Musafadi, like with the Farimba, just make 1 batch of Musafadi, and that would go a long way with helping you secure the relics.
Especially if you consider BC's like lack of vision everywhere. Like, what, we haven't got any forward outposts, if I'm not mistaken, right? So like that berry patch especially, Musafadi just appear out of nowhere and say happy birthday. Sadly, it's your last birthday. You're 100 years old in that situation.
Warrior Scout moving out with a deer, so maybe thinking about gifting something to Beasty here.
Let's see who's going to be gifting who. Archers move into the Stealth Forest, and Beasty hesitant. He doesn't really want to stretch himself, right? Like, just I think he has to strong arm 1 relic at a time and hope that he's quick enough before B picks him up himself. But B already has 2 of his monks on the go.
Look at the amount of insert religious unit for Malians here that B has.
You don't
Already
remember the name,
got
do you?
2 out on the field. It's
Imams.
Imam.
That
yeah.
was it. They're the
That's what
Imams.
yeah. Oh,
I was there too. I was like, monk? I know it's not monk, but...
gets a prelate pick, so 1 for 1 here right now with the religious units.
If there's anything I've learned about religion, there's plenty of people who are willing to take the place, right? So just kill each other's off. Don't fight each other directly. Clearly, they value these archers and cavalry more.
I just want to say right now, because we see I see players in chat pointing out the huge economy advantage right now for Beasty. It's a little bit deceiving, just because
It's his
he
burn rate.
has pit lines.
Yeah. It's also
Yeah, that
his
as well,
burn
and
rate.
pit lines.
Definitely. Like, how many pit mines? I think he's set up. Yeah, he's been very efficient, right? He's got all 3 set up.
Yeah.
And you're going to see that escalate on a delay, right? Like, that 1 archer being built, that's the Farimba. So he's massing archers and the sofas. It is just that cut and dry strategy for the Malians we've seen succeed time and time again.
Yeah, so right now we're looking at a total of like 350 gold from the pit mines alone, passively. Then every single relic gets another 80. We also have the Mansa Quarry, that's another 75. So he's sitting at like just 500, 600 gold completely passively right now. Yeah. And that's a big difference. That's pretty much the 20 villager difference right there.
Look at that key detail, right? This is the word mentioned, the burn rate. Check Beasty's God Vein. It's about to expire. He has to move out for more. He hasn't walled off these areas yet. This is the upside and downside of the HRE that I always explain to people, right? As the HRE, you gather resources 40% faster. But that means they're gone 40% faster, right? So your safe resource window is smaller than other civs, especially ones that fabricate extra resources like the Chinese.
Alright, Beastie is now gonna fortify some of his outposts, so is gonna try and secure some more areas on the map. I'm not sure where exactly the outposts are that he's strengthening here. There's no poison arrows yet for B, but still, like, he has both the attack upgrades.
Is it the one thing his gold vein, I think? Yeah, it's these ones.
Someone's next to his wood line.
Okay. Well, and by the way, for anyone want like outpost play makes a lot of sense here, right? There's a risk that you're going to be up against Musafadi. You don't want to give him the sneak in.
Still no poison arrows. We really want to see those now at some point. Makes a huge difference. Now the archers, they do have 9 damage. Oh, Pumbaa coming into play.
The prelates will eventually die. This fight doesn't keep pulling away. In a way, B has kind of helped him out, but he has to start a step away from those knights.
Yeah, and we can see the archers in mass, they actually are able to take down knights and men-at-arms alike, so looking pretty good there now, and the mass just continues to climb. It's like what we saw with the Muslim against the Marine Lord game now. So many archers out on the field.
And he's so confident. Like, you saw that, he just body blocks past them. There's not enough to instantly kill him, but with the Sofa's assistance, Beastie's going to be pushed back. Now, behind this, Beastie didn't really get much for it, right? Like, he was always going to get that Southern Gold Vein, but there were no extra relics. Sacred Sites are also being locked in. B is getting everything in the mid-map.
Yeah, Beastie has now deleted this wall after he upgraded his tower, so has some more space for his farms, but now he's getting pushed off those berries. But still, like, Beastie has a really good economy. He's now adding Landsknechte, which I'm shaking my head a little bit looking at the amount of archers that B has. He's gonna need to make a lot of them, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot, if he wants to get any good connections with those.
Like a lot, or like a lot? I'm sorry, we're not in high school. We should stop that. I agree, though. Like, it's not just that. It's the fact that he's got finite amounts of gold, right? Like, this is the thing I'm always looking at. When I'm looking at his unit comp, knights plus lanks, adding in more prelates, this is pricey.
Yeah, B has 4 of the 5 relics on the map now. BC is trying to get some raids in with some knights, but they're weak, and the reinforcements from the Farimba are just going to be able to deal with that. Poison arrows is on its way, and once that comes to play, that's when it means that the armored units aren't going to be as armored as you might think they are. Now, reinforcements, emergency repair comes in.
E-Reps isn't going to save this, though. Half HP and then down to none.
BC just doesn't have nearly enough military units right now in order to contest that. 22 against 70.
If I'm B, I'm smiling as well, because in a way, you kind of helped me. Now that you're delaying my push-in, just in time for Poison Arrows to complete before I have to take another big fight. And that big fight will just simply be a big loss for BC. Like, these heavily armored units, they ain't getting tickled anymore.
It's a lot of dead villagers for Beastie as well. At some point, B managed to kill up to 11 villagers here. Maybe, yeah, it was on the berries earlier, so that also kind of mediated the bonus from the second TC for Beastie, and now it's gone completely. So past this, like, 20 villager lead, it's not going to scale further, and as we said earlier, like, the 20 villager lead is pretty much completely negated by all of these passive bonuses that the Malians have, and now B wants to push in.
Prelates, villagers, everything to kill, nothing to defend, and it's worse than that. Beastie, look at his stone. He didn't have enough for a keep drop. Maybe the one thing that could slow this down. His base is pretty much undefended. Sure, you've got those outposts, but you don't have to care when you have this many units.
Yeah, now he's able to just kite with the archers. Look at that. Every single time poison arrow it ticks. You see it tick, and Metadon just dies.
They're just waving their hands like, heal. Oh, that's actually...
Heal me.
By the way, that's something important to highlight here, right? Like, with the change to healing in combat, poison still registers you in combat, right? So, combat, like, you can't heal off the poison quick enough.
Oh, now he's diving for that really, really dangerous position. If he now wins, Beastie's dead. Yeah, this is it.
It's done.
Now he's going to be
way.
on the eco. It's over. Yeah.
He's got one mango, but it's coming out the other side of this fight completely unprotected. It gets one good shot, and then it just dies to this. There you go.
Yeah.
Not even one good shot.
Get a good shot. Yeah. A decent shot, not a good shot.
Oh,
gets a second one. Ooh, that was a better one.
But it's on the edge, right? Like, it's not even deep.
Yeah. It's not enough, and behind all of this, B is just planning the next assault. He's just making more and more units behind us. The idle time for BC. Granted, he's not idling a ton of villagers, only like those 15 in the TC. All the other villagers are still working. But
That is pretty much his eco lead, though.
yeah, now B is just going to be able to push in further, kill more villagers, and I mean, at least the gold economy is still safe behind the wall, but yeah, this is rough. Like, the military units are all over the production, and now we see the Musafati warriors also coming in.
Oh boy. Just because they're faster than the archers, right? Obviously, you can't push sofas out of that building. You just want speed. You need to gap close these villies. Is anyone working here? Okay. Like, everything is garrisoned. Everyone else is running. Does Beastie get... maybe gold is being gathered elsewhere? But everything else is idle.
It's like what the villagers are on strike. It's like an empty warehouse and there's only the manager in there. Guys? Hello?
They said we were going to be replaced by automation. We rebelled. Well, maybe you should have waited a bit longer. GG gets called. B will open this series with a win, and an important win. Remember, Beastie is still not locked in for playoffs. Getting knocked down to the lower bracket here could put it all at risk.
Yeah, and this is so important for Beastie. He really needs to win this. He needs to get into the finals. If Beastie gets to the finals, he's pretty much secured. If he gets dropped before the finals, then it's open. Then it might be the case that, for example, B could possibly take his spot. He's one of the players that's next in line when it comes to the points.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not just that, you are going to be put in an uncomfortable position because you'll be in lower bracket. It's also the person just right behind you on that leaderboard is going to be moving further forward, right? The difference is quite big between them. Beastie at the beginning of this round, 105 points. B, 75.